Welcome to the NCU. That is Nerd Culture Undisputed. Today, we are talking about Star Wars Visions, the brand new animated series on Disney+. I'm your host, Kyle, Wright, for this, but I personally, I did not watch Star Wars Visions, so I went out and I got myself a great panel of guests, and I'm going to introduce them to you guys. I'm going to say one by one, but my first couple guests are here in studio making their first appearances on the Nerd Culture Undisputed show. First of all, Mr. RJ Jackson. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm chilling. Taking a step out of the sports world. Coming to mess around with some superpowers.
All right. I'm happy to have you here. And, of course, the man behind just about everything in this studio, Mr. Chris Enfinger. How's it going over there?
Dude, it's so cool to be on NCU. It's cool. It's going good, and I'm fucking excited to talk some Star Wars.
There's the first F-bomb.
The first F-bomb, sorry.
38 seconds in. Good job.
It's my second favorite word.
What's your first one? I got to know now.
My first favorite word?
Yeah.
Jedi, bro.
Okay, all right. Well, good save, because I don't think that's where we were going.
It's not.
All right, and of course, little frequent flyer here, Mr. David Ham.
What's going on?
Happy to be back.
Oh yeah,
Man, me and you got a big weekend ahead. We've got a lot of stuff going on, and of course, making his appearance wearing his grandmother's robe, Mr. Walker Barrow. You got to tell us the story on what you got on there, Walker.
Well, this is a homemade. It's a Jedi cloak. That's literally what I told her when I told her what I wanted, and I wanted it orange. It's more of a brownish rust looking color, which is cool because that's what they had. But yeah, it's a Jedi cloak, and it's warm because my house is set to like 62 degrees, and it's fantastic, and it's just super warm. But I'm happy to be back.
Walker.
Yeah.
Didn't your grandmother-in-law make this?
My girlfriend's grandma, yes, she made this.
When you asked that lady to make that, she was like, "Don't marry that boy." Like, don't.
No, she was just like, "He's perfect. Keep him. You will not be able to find anybody better."
No, you will not. If my daughter comes home one day and she's like, "Hey, my future husband's grandmother made me a Jedi cloak," I'd be like, "Marry him now."
Yeah. Absolutely. And can I marry her?
You get married tomorrow.
Can I marry your grandmother? That's what I would ask.
Yeah.
Personally,
She's married,
honestly.
but I mean,
Soccer's
polygamy
got a
is
goalie.
legal in some places.
I was gonna say soccer's got a goalie. People still score. I mean, it happens.
It happens. Yeah.
It happens, especially when grandma's over there knitting sweaters, bro.
Right here on NCU.
Right here. We're
Life lessons.
We're
It's
breaking
got a
out
hood.
the news.
I don't know if
Life
you can see
lessons.
it, but it does have a hood.
Oh,
shame.
Oh, snap.
it looks like little orange
Dude, that
Riding
is
Hood.
super cool, actually. It really is cool.
That's cute, man.
It reminds me of the maternity things they put the little kids in when they first come.
That works, too. Whatever.
Oh, I love it. Well, listen, guys, we're going to have a fun episode here, and we're talking about Star Wars Visions. So before we get any further into this, I didn't do this at the beginning, but you should already know. But spoiler warning ahead if you haven't watched Star Wars Visions yet. I haven't, but I've watched a couple episodes in here, and it's a little bit different for me. So I'm very closed-minded, you could say. So I didn't get too much into it, but I definitely wanted to run the show with a couple of massive Star Wars fans, because you guys are all the biggest Star Wars fans I know. It's all tied for first. It's like 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D.
I'm in the same category as you. I like anime a lot, so this was really cool for me.
I don't like anime.
Yeah.
See, I know zero about anime.
Yeah, I
Zero.
love anime.
Yeah, I watch a lot of
Yeah.
anime too. So
Star Wars is the only television I watch.
That's fair.
I gave Walker, I'm not going to mention the name, but I gave our buddy gave Walker his premium account, and there was nothing but hentai on the page. That first.
I did not
Oh,
use
wow.
this account, okay? I did not. I don't know what he is telling you, but I did not get on it because I still don't know the password.
Mm.
He's
I
in the-
promised you that is not for me, and I would have told you if it was from me. I own up to stuff like that, but
Hey,
it was
man.
not from me.
Just forewarning, if you give me the password to this account, there's going to be some anime on there.
I'll never believe you, bro. I will never believe you.
I know you won't, and I know it doesn't matter. I'm still going to tell you every time it wasn't me.
Okay, Shaggy. Cool.
Okay, Shaggy. Oh my goodness. All right, so without giving up too much, I'm gonna start with you, Walker, since you're wearing the not the cloak of levitation, but the like if Little Red Riding Hood was a Jedi. What were your overall thoughts on the show?
Overall, I really enjoyed it, with the exception of the TOB1 episode, but we're going to get into that probably a little bit more later as we go through all of us. Immediately when I first saw like the first couple of episodes, I was like, oh, this is like the Animatrix. I don't know if anybody else here has watched that, but it's like they made this movie and it was based off of the Matrix, but it was an anime style with different art styles, and it encompassed the whole story of the Matrix and different points of view. And it's very similar in that aspect just because of the massive differences in the art styles, the different studios that came together and made these specific stories, which I just thought was really cool. I always like to see the different art. You know, you got, hang on, gotta look at the titles. You got like the duel starting out with like the 3D CGI, which is like the Berserk anime that we don't want to talk about because that's another conversation. And then you jump to like the Lapin Ocho, the next to last episode, two totally different art styles. And it's just cool how they all go together. I really enjoyed it mainly for that reason, but I also liked how they jumped throughout different time frames. You know, one, the Sith is just roaring through the galaxy. The next one, it's been hundreds of years since the Sith has been around. It was just a great series altogether.
David, what do you think?
I agree completely. I love the different art styles. I love, like, to me, the Twins was like some Gurren Lagann type art style. The TOB1 was like Mega Man reincarnated. I mean, it was just, I love the different art styles. I loved how they jumped around through time, like he said. Even though some returning characters like Boba Fett and, you know, the one episode, the Twins, was set during the Republic and the New Empire. So we had a little bit of, you know, similarities there, but most of them were kind of their own thing out there, and I really enjoyed it.
I want to give a little spoiler warning for ahead in the episode here, but the TOB1 episode is actually Chris's favorite one.
Bullshit. You're fired.
All right, Chris, you go, and then I'm going to let RJ go too. But your overall thoughts, because, I mean, you've been excited about this show longer than anybody I know.
Yeah, man. I really like the idea of it because I knew nothing about anime. I still don't know anything about anime. Just from watching this and reading about it online, I've learned that there are different anime styles. And then you start picking up on them. I'll probably never watch another anime. Like, I'll watch Star Wars Visions, and then if they come out with more Star Wars Visions, which I hope they do, because a couple of these do need, like, longer storytelling in them, I'll watch those for sure.
Right.
And then, like, it's like, well, if I do watch anime, I know that I like this style. Maybe not so much because of the story, because I think one of these is really good specifically because of the style, not so much the story. Like The Duel, for example, which has the Ronin novel that's coming out here in a couple weeks. I really like the style of The Duel in the anime. I really like that. I thought it was super cool. I thought that the black and white was really cool. And, then some of them, like TOB1, Mega Man style, I'm like, oh, everybody knows Mega Man. Well, I didn't realize how much I didn't like Mega Man until I watched TOB1. But I liked all the different styles. I liked the storytelling in it. Some of them were, like, way out there for me as being a hardcore canon Star Wars fan. Like, I love all the canon stuff. Some of them were like, they came into Star Wars Vision saying, hey, this is not canon. None of this is canon. But some of them could be. And I think that hopefully
we got a question for that here in a few minutes.
Favreau and Dave take a couple of these further.
I feel like it was just like overall for like newer Star Wars fans, it's like a fresh experience because like there's no expectations. It's just like a lot of people like anime. There's a bunch of people that like Star Wars, so this like kind of just left it open for interpretation for people to like dip their feet in and to see like, oh, what Star Wars got going on with this type of animation style, which I think is really cool because like it leaves options for series to be made with like the Duel, the Ninth Jedi, and like Rhapsody. Like there's a couple of options to make series off of this, and if you fail, like, okay, cool, garbage project, we'll just call it a day. You never got to look at it again.
I think one thing that I did take away from it here, watching the first couple episodes like I did, is that you could tell like what each one was like kind of based on. Like you had certain episodes that almost had Yu-Gi-Oh kind of feels to it. The way I think the Twins episode was almost like a Yu-Gi-Oh style animation, and there were all kinds of different things. Like you could definitely see some strong Dragon Ball Z vibes, strong vibes from everything else in there. I haven't, like I said, I haven't really been engulfed into the show yet. I mean, it's definitely something that I can sit down and watch, though. It's not that I dislike it. It's just not the thing that, like, it wasn't jumping off screen to me. But you guys loved it. And
Bro, we'll probably get a lot of flack from this, but watching Lop and Ocho, like, you could have traded Pokemon for that for me, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, this is like watching Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea what kind of style or what that is or how it works, but that's the vibe I got from it. And I think that's probably what makes Star Wars Visions cool is people are going to say, oh, this is like this anime. Even if it's not, they don't know anything about anime.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Chris, you made me do this as a question number 2A and 2B. So in your opinion, we'll start with you, Chris. Your favorite episode and what's the best episode?
My favorite episode is a lot of people's least favorite episode, I think.
Yeah.
I really like Tatooine Rhapsody. And I think I like Tatooine Rhapsody a lot because, number one, it had Boba Fett headbanging.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
Like, even if it was just a small headbang, like you
It was still
imagine
there.
it's one of those stories where it's like, hey man, you got to watch Tatooine Rhapsody because Boba Fett is headbanging, and then you go back and watch it. It's like a fish story. Like I caught a fish this big, but really it was this big, you know?
right.
It's like one of those. I'm like, dude, Boba Fett is headbanging in Tatooine Rhapsody. You got to watch it. So, and then you
Yeah.
you got the Hutts, and his tail slapping, and it was fun,
Yeah.
man. It was something so different for Star Wars. Like, who would have thought that we would see a rock band in Star Wars, a real life rock band? And this is the one that I think is, well, all of them are probably better in Japanese, but this is the one that is just like over the top, way better in Japanese because the music works so much better than the
Yes.
English version. So if you can watch this one in Japanese, with the subtitles, it's so much better than the English version.
If I'm not mistaken, Walker, that's how you watched the whole show, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty. Like, did that change the experience for you?
It did. I don't know if it's just because I've watched anime for so long, but the minute I see animation, it's got to be Japanese. If it's going to be something along that
That's how it
lines,
is. It's always better in Japanese.
it always is. I mean, like there's some animes that I watched just because it's what I grew like Dragon Ball. I've watched Dragon Ball Super both dubbed and subbed, and dubbed is just so much better to me in the Dragon Ball universe. But when it came to this, I was like, yeah,
Right.
this is getting switched to Japanese. I feel like there's just more emotion to me whenever they go through, especially in the fight scenes, like the twins. Oh my God. In Japanese, it's beautiful. I just love the screams and just the way that their dialect comes out whenever they're showing all this raw emotion. Even though they're just standing in a studio screaming at a microphone by themselves, it actually feels like they're fighting, and it just immerses you more. And I feel like that draws you more into the show. That's obviously just my personal opinion, but the Japanese just did it for me. It's always done it for me when it comes to anime, anything animated. That's just how I watch it.
I like that take.
Yeah,
like that
I
take.
think it's easier to not recognize the voices in Japanese because there's only so many dubbed English, and you're
Yes.
like, that's Vegeta, that's
Yep.
Goku. Like, you're just pointing out in all the animes. You're like, I can't get into it because I know that's Vegeta there.
Yeah,
I like it.
exactly.
So, Chris, you said your favorite episode.
Yeah,
What was the-
Tatooine Rhapsody was my favorite.
What do you think was the best episode?
I think the best episode, the most well done from someone who doesn't watch anime, the best storytelling, the best voices, and everything was the Ninth Jedi. And
Yeah?
the Ninth Jedi I really, really liked. If Lucasfilm and Disney do not do something with the Ninth Jedi, I'm going to be disappointed. Like, I'll be highly disappointed. I know that they're doing some stuff with the duel, which is great and all, because I have the duel as number 3 for me, but the Ninth Jedi could be some like special storytelling for sure. I thought that it was the best well done episode. Storytelling, animation across the board.
Let's stay at the table here,
Yeah,
RJ.
spoiler. That's my favorite. Is the Ninth Jedi.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I love the storytelling. I love the world building they had. It brought in lightsabers as like a different like. Before you could never the crystals to make them red, you would have to bleed them, and all of a sudden they would change hands and change color. Like, we've never seen that before, or the varying length. Never seen that before. That was pretty cool to see.
That was sweet.
I like it. RJ?
I think one of my favorite episodes. I really enjoyed the Rhapsody episode, but if I had to pick something different, I really liked the Elder episode. I really enjoyed that episode. I thought it was really good, and just kind of like seeing. I really wonder like what that villain looked like at like full strength. At that point,
Yeah.
I would really love to see that because I mean he kind of went through it with him. So like if he was at full strength, how would that really go?
Yeah. That one gave me like serious Samurai Champloo vibes or Afro Samurai. Oh my god, Roni Kenshin. I mean, it's just so many that come from that one. I was like, oh my god, this is great.
I love that you guys are like marking out over this. I love it. I love
It's
it.
beautiful.
That's what that's what this channel's about. Nerding out. Let yourself nerd out, man. I love it. So
right.
Dave, you kind of gave us a preview there. Just kind of capitalize on that a little bit more.
Yeah, so my favorite was the Ninth Jedi. The best one is a toss-up between the Elder and the Duel. I would like to see even more of those. The Elder, I mean, that was just, it showed the Sith as this crazy, power-hungry, just wanting to get stronger and test their might, while the Jedi are like, we don't pick fights, only engage if you're encountered. I mean, it just really gave to like how they're totally different from each other.
And we'll just stick on the same thing here for you, Walker.
So when it comes to my favorite episode, my favorite was the twins. I know I talked about it just a few minutes ago, but it was just such a cool episode. You know, they talk about them being born from the dark side, and just capitalizing off of that is cool to see how the twins progress differently. You know, I guess you could say that's kind of typical cookie cutter when it comes to twins being born from something dark. You know, typically one stays on the dark side while the other one takes the more positive approach. And I think it's just cool to see the kyber crystal split. One turn into a female hot General Grievous with 6 different arms, and the other one literally purifies the crystal in his hand, and it just turns into this, I guess, just a beautiful color of a lightsaber. And that's where like the length extension comes in that David was talking about. This lightsaber is huge. It's it split the whole destroyer. You know, just that.
I mean,
just that whole
let's
that
talk
whole
about
sequence
him
is beautiful.
Being on an X-wing, jumping into hyperspace while just holding on.
Exactly. With his feet. With his feet. The only thing another thing I thought about when they were doing that was Top Gun. It's like, because he was upside down, I could just picture him being like, because I was inverted. It's just something that popped into my head. But yeah, I thought of him like, this guy is really holding on to an X-wing with his feet, jumping into hyperspace while trying to kill his sister.
Yeah.
So
He knocked off her costume, and I thought that was a little weird. Like,
it's not a costume. Bro.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. He knocked off her suit, and it just like left his sister laying there, boobies exposed in space. I thought that was
okay, Kyle.
And she
So
got-
since
it
you
was a
don't
little
watch
weird.
anime, that's called plot.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what that's called.
We watch it
Titties
for
are
the
called
plot.
plot.
well, you would know about the password stuff, you know.
That's right.
I
Even though
watch
that
it.
was not about me.
Bullshit. I'll never believe it. I'll never
Ain't
believe it.
nobody gonna believe me now. But as
Man.
far as best episode, I do agree. I think the Ninth Jedi and the Duel are both good for the best episode. I also think the Village Bride would be good as another best episode. The art style and animation, just like every other one that we've talked about, is perfect. It's beautiful. And just the whole turnaround and seeing the story unfold in 18 minutes, I mean, it's just perfect to me. There's a perfect beginning, middle, and end to this one episode. Like all the other episodes besides TBO1, I would like to see more of that. I'd like to see that progress a little bit more. I feel like there's a lot that they could do, just like with a lot of the other ones. So I'm going to have to go with, since you guys said other things, I'm going to say The Village Bride for the best episode.
I like it. Be different. Chris,
That's good.
I want to hear this TOB1 rant.
Man, TOB, come on, dude. What? First
Set
off,
a timer. Set a timer.
First off, the best. My favorite Jedi is Obi-Wan Kenobi, and then you're gonna play on Obi-Wan's name, and you're gonna give us a droid whose master is Professor X with a Santa Claus beard. Okay, like what is going on here? And then it's just like he just takes a kyber crystal and he puts it inside of him like he's
Like an Infinity Stone.
yeah, like it's the Infinity Stone, like he's Tony Stark. And I don't even watch Marvel or anything about Marvel, so I know basic stuff, but I know that he's got like this weird heart, and that's what you get with TOB1. And then you just make it look like Mega Man. And I mean, I guess it's a cool idea. I didn't really care for the animation in it. Mega Man, I played it whenever I was a kid, but I wasn't a big fan of TOB1. It was, to me, the worst episode out of all of them. Not saying I probably never watch it again. I appreciate the artwork in it and everything that goes down with it, but it just didn't fit for me in Star Wars and what I think the typical Star Wars fan is looking for.
Right. I mean, the only thing interesting about that episode was this is the first on screen that we've shown a robot use the Force and be like Force compatible.
Yeah.
Which I've never been down with either. I just don't see that happening. I think that one of the parts of Star Wars I like the most is that they have droids who do have feelings, but they don't have Force powers, because it's like the Force is in all living things. You know, we've heard that multiple times. So are droids living? Are they intimate beings? Like, what are they? I think that was just too big of a question for an episode as long as TOB1 to answer, which it tried to do. And I didn't agree with.
That's fair. That's fair. So is that your, I know that's yours. Like, what would be everybody else, like the episode that you could have done without?
I'm literally in the same boat, because like the rest of them are good.
Yeah.
It's just like, why did we?
Okay,
do this?
I got another one. I got a different opinion for a different one.
Oh, go ahead.
I don't know if I'm gonna get any flag for it.
Oh, here we go. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna put it on everybody's reactions.
So I've already talked about TOB1. The last one, Akakiri, I just couldn't get into it. Like I'm sure there was something there, but just for me, it didn't pull me in like the other ones did.
Right.
It was cool. It just didn't pull me in. Like, I know that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but if an episode doesn't grab me and it's just like, hey, this is what we're doing, which is what you want when you're doing something like this, whenever there's no storyline throughout all the episodes linking together. They're all their own thing. If I'm going to be watching this, I want you to pull me in from the start and make me want to be like, okay, I want to see this through to the end. I want to finish this and understand or know what happens. It's cool. He uses the Force heal at the end of the episode, and then he goes off with the Empire. It just didn't do it for me. That one, besides TOB1, I could have done without both of those.
I can kind of agree with that. The only reason I like that one is because it's the only one where the bad guy actually won.
Yeah.
Like the Sith prevailed instead of, goody good two-shoe Jedi always win type of thing, which they don't. They lose most of the time.
Yeah, I can totally agree with that. It gives you a little bit another perspective. Oh, the good guys don't always win. So
yeah, I think that was my favorite thing about what would you say in Avengers Infinity War? Like that's probably my favorite thing about it, is that it's like finally a movie where the superheroes lose, and that's like the most interesting arc to me, because you had to wait a year to see how they responded to it, and that's huge to me. Like I love that kind of feeling.
But it did go into that a little bit of like Force visions and things of that nature, which were kind of cool.
Right.
But
Kind of
other
like
than
what
that,
Cal Kestis has, like with the Force Echo. I did see that, and I was like, oh, they're touching on that a little bit. That was something that I did see throughout that episode.
that was the one thing I really liked about that one. But otherwise, that one's
Yeah.
my bottom 3.
Yeah, I could care less about his actual story.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Give me more of the Force Echo. Like I
Yeah.
want to know. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, and then last question here: do you want to see any more of this style show? Like if you could build a season 2 somehow, building a storyline from one of these episodes, where would you go?
The Ninth Jedi. That's the one I would want to see more of for sure.
Oh man.
It's tough. I know I kind of switched that question up on y'all a little bit, but
Yeah.
I
Kind of
feel
squish that into something else.
Yeah,
or add it to it. I mean, that's no problem.
I mean, like if
Yeah.
you or like better yet, if you could make any of these canon, what would you do?
Well, I think
Ooh.
what we're saying, Kyle, is we don't like the last 3 films, and the Ninth Jedi would be a perfect replacement for that shit.
Yeah, because it's totally unknown. We don't know the time
Yes.
frames. For some reason, the lightsabers have been lost, and these
Yeah.
are the only ones that are around. It's just, I mean, to me, that would be the perfect like branch off.
I can get down with that. I think the duel would be just a great one to build off of because this guy's got like 7 or 8 other Sith kyber crystals in his cloak. And like I would want to see him going because I'm guessing he's a type of bounty hunter in some form of fashion. But just I don't know. I got to see more of him drawing his katana. I want to see more fights with him. I feel like watching that would be cool since we all here collectively love Boba Fett. We're just all here for the bounty hunter.
Right.
I just think that would be cool to build off of.
Yeah, I mean, it
The
would
only
be.
thing I would want to change with that is it was too Eastern. Like, why does your lightsaber have a sheath for whatever reason?
Right.
That's not how lightsabers work.
That was kind of weird. I thought about, and they made sure to point it out as well. Like they made
Right.
sure that we see him pulling it out of a sheath.
Yeah.
And it was very drawn out. It wasn't like a quick,
Yeah, I mean, he
pull.
clicked it like a samurai sword,
yeah.
and then he pulled it. So I don't know. Maybe he's living in a time where they haven't figured out how to shut it off.
That's a possibility.
But then the other Sith can shut theirs off at any
Yeah.
point.
I mean, my crazy headcanon for that one is like, you have this guy who's just going and hunting down Sith. You know, he's just taking all their kyber crystals, and
Yeah.
his master is Luke Skywalker sitting on his island drinking beer. You know, it's like,
Right.
that's what that was in my headcanon for that one. As I watched it and rewatched it, I was like, that'd be a cool storyline. Like, just
You
have
just see Luke just
Luke
go
sitting
like,
back.
hey, I want to come back as a Force ghost.
Yeah.
I need you to go kill these guys because if I go kill all of them just aggressively, I'm not going to come back as
Yeah,
that.
it's like I'm sitting back drinking some spiked blue and green milk and just kicking it. Hired a bounty hunter to do my dirty work.
Like the movies never touch about like gray Jedi or the in between a Sith and a Jedi.
Yeah.
They're not all Sith or Jedi. There's people that just are Force sensitive that do their own thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, did he leave voluntarily the Sith? Did he get kicked out of being a Sith? Like we all know the rule of 2 is that in place in the duel 2, you know? There's a lot of
Right.
questions that we can ask and see
Yeah.
to why
Is it
he's doing what
before
he's doing.
or after the rule of 2?
Yeah.
You know.
So many questions.
So many
Oh,
So
questions.
yeah.
little time.
So little time. Want to get a little plug in here before we end this episode. We will be doing a weekly after show for like I think I mentioned it on last week's episode. Hawkeye starting on November 24th. It'll at least be David and I, and we'll see Walker what we can get with your schedule. That'll be on Wednesday nights. We'll be dropping our Hawkeye after show week by week. And then that will also continue into December for the Book of Boba Fett. So that's going to be my closing question to everybody. Your excitement level will start with Chris. We'll go to RJ. We'll go to Dave. We'll go to Walker. And we'll close this thing out. Go around the table here. What is your excitement level for the Book of Boba Fett?
If it turns out like TOB1, I'm going to be pissed. But it's not because
Yeah. It's
obviously we've seen all the news on how, you know, this is not Mandalorian season 3, which is a good thing. I love Mando, but we'll see some stuff in this that I think will answer some questions, open up some new questions. Favreau and Dave are doing a good job over there. So I'm like trusting everything that's coming out right now with Star Wars. I'm pretty stoked for Book of Boba Fett. We get to see more Boba Fett. I hope we see the Boba Fett, a lot of the Boba Fett that we saw in Mando, where he just like tears through people, and a whole lot of it's all gun. Like, let's just see some stuff happen. Like, what is the best bounty hunter in the galaxy doing?
Right.
Yes.
I'm excited. I'm like rather new to Star Wars. Like I've watched all the movies and stuff, but like with these series recently, I've been like catching up on them, and they haven't missed yet. So I don't think they're gonna miss on this one. So I'm pretty excited from like an outsider standpoint on it.
Dave?
Oh yeah, excitement level 10 because I mean, movie Boba Fett's a little bitch. So
He is, man. I'm so disappointed in it still. It's like, jeez.
So I mean, I've read a
True.
bunch of his books, and I mean, he's a badass. I mean, he goes toes and toes with Jedi any day of the week, and usually comes on top or escapes. So let's see him actually in action.
Walker.
I'm beyond excited. I mean, whenever I was down there in Florida with you guys, we talked about it before. Me and Kyle would wake up at 5 a.m. to watch The Mandalorian, and we would do like the group Disney Plus watch and talk about it with each other. And then I know whenever the thing for Book of Boba Fett came out at the end of the last season of The Mandalorian, I was like, give me a call as you're watching it because I want to hear your reaction. I'm at Kyle's excitement level for when he first saw the trailer, and I've been that way ever since. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see more Fennec. I'm excited to see everything about it. It's just gonna be awesome.
Fennec's the one that nobody's really talking about. I'm excited to get to see more of Fennec's character arc. That's gonna be dope.
I mean, you had her in 3 shows now, like 3 new shows.
Yep.
Once Book of Boba Fett comes out, you have her in 3 shows. So there's something to that story that we're not looking at. It's going to be out of left field totally, and we're going to be like stunned.
Well, I'm going to close this thing out with my excitement level here. You guys know that, I've told you guys this before. When we go Star Wars, Marvel, DC, when you put all that together, my favorite character from anything is Boba Fett. I mean, playing him in video games, playing him in Star Wars Battlefront, playing him in all the little bounty hunter games on your phone. Boba Fett's always been my favorite character from anything. So, dude, like when he popped up in Mandalorian, I guess at the end of season 1 where he picked up Fennec's body and you could just hear his spurs as he was walking. Yeah. And that's when the rumors started. And then he pops up there in Mando season 2, man. I mean, my excitement level's through the roof. I'm so excited for the show. I love Tamora Morrison. I think he's incredible. I hope that they capitalize a little bit on the art from I hope I'm not spoiling this for anybody, but the Bad Batch where they figure out that Omega is pretty much Boba Fett's sister.
Yep.
So I want to see more of that. I want to see more of that storyline play out. Just so excited. Well, let's close this thing out. Chris, thank you. I'm happy that you were able to finally make an appearance on here.
Man, it's cool to be on NCU, especially talking Star Wars. I don't know anything about that Marvel stuff you guys watch because it's greatly inferior to the galaxy far, far away. See you next time.
RJ?
Ooh, we should have like a Marvel versus Star Wars episode.
I got to tell you, I'd be on the Star Wars side.
Yeah.
I almost cried on the Rise of the Resistance.
Well, damn, guys. I guess I'd have to be on the Marvel side because that's already 3 people right there because Dave said he's on the Star Wars side, too.
I mean, Walker, I'm here, but they're going to punch me in my head.
I'll come back. You know what? I'll make a special trip to come back down there so that way you're not by yourself, man. I'll be down there. I got you.
Yeah, you don't mess with anybody with a mustache like that, man.
No, right. Look at it. It's epic. I cried on Rise of the Resistance, so I'm essentially 100% team Star Wars. RJ, thanks for stepping up once again. Excited to have you on more products.
I'm excited to be here. It's fun. I had a blast.
Awesome, man. And of course, Walker, thank you as always. We got a lot more coming up, man. A lot more coming up.
That's right. I'm excited.
And Dave, of course, I'm about to plug what you and me got going on tomorrow night, but thank you once again, and I'll thank you again tomorrow night.
Yeah. Anytime, man.
So I'm going to close this thing out. Tomorrow night, keep your eyes on our channel because Dave and I are going to see Venom Let There Be Carnage. When I talk about excitement level for Book of Boba Fett, like I'm so excited for all the possibilities coming from Let There Be Carnage. It's so exciting. So keep your eyes on here. We'll have a spoiler-free review up tomorrow night, and then we'll have a full review up sometime next week, probably middle of the week. Give everybody a couple days to go see it. And so from all of us here at the NCU and Right On Network, always remember the nerd out.